Hi guys, we are back. I do still have Loki here with me. And I think we got a little bit more control this time. I took him out and we had a bit of a run and let him do his business and just settle in a little bit. I'm sure you can probably hear him going after his Kong behind me, which we threw some treats in there, so he's got something to keep him nice and occupied. It's going to be a learning process for him. He doesn't mean any harm, and I'm sure that last video is probably hilarious, but that's okay. We're still going to post it, and we're still going to learn the process slowly but surely. As for Miss Bunny here, she is finally starting to look correct. It's always tricky with an aged stone like this. You want to make sure to get a really good, thick, even coating of your primer. That's going to keep her from absorbing all of your paint, for one. It's also going to give her just a little more additional structural integrity, because any little cracks and holes that I don't notice or might not be able to see are going to get filled up. You are a great sound effect department, sir. Eventually, I'm hoping he will be comfortable to just chill in here with me, but if it takes him having his Kong or a toy or his emotional support Pop-Tart, which is a running joke, we will let him have what he needs to be happy and comfortable as he learns. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I think once she dries her first coat, I'll have to turn her on her back to make sure that I got up under there properly. I don't want to do that on camera because I'm going to end up having to have an extra set of hands for that. And not everybody that helps me really wants to be on the camera, which I completely understand and support. She is... I'm kind of debating, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Should she be shades of brown or shades of gray? I'm kind of waffling between the two, so I would happily take suggestions on what you guys think. Crowd suggestions definitely turned out great on the frog, so I am absolutely open to them. I don't want to go any kind of crazy color with her, because where frogs can turn up in some wild colors, rabbits usually are not, but they can be quite pretty. So I would love to hear what you think she should look like. Here, let me give that back to you. There you go, sweetheart. His Kong got away from him in an area that I've got blocked that he can't reach. So if you're thinking about getting pets, something to think on is cases like Mr. Loki over here. Be prepared for them to really test your boundaries and decide how much you can really deal with, and do your research. Like, we knew we wanted some kind of Mastiff or Mastiff mix because they do tend to have less of a prey drive and a little bit higher intelligence than some of the other breeds. They also do tend to be a bit more mellow. So when Loki came up in a local shelter, we snatched him up as quick as possible, because if you've ever priced out any of the Mastiff breeds to actually buy rather than adopt, you're looking in the thousands. Loki was named Gallo in the shelter, but we decided Gallo was kind of a bit of a morbid name for a pet, and it didn't suit him, and he didn't answer to it. So we kind of kept throwing names out until we found one that he responded to, and Loki is the name that he chose for himself, in a way. I wish I had more backstory on him. The only thing the previous owners said was that he didn't get along well with their previous dogs, or with their other dogs. And judging by his fear of other dogs and a few unfortunate scars, I think he was getting picked on by those dogs, which can't blame him for defending himself. It's actually kind of funny. He's terrified of my mom's dog, which is a miniature Aussie Shepherd, which that is a very cute dynamic, and I think he'll get used to her. But she's very territorial of her space. And when we went over to visit, she told him what she thought of him being in her space, and his response was to come whining to me and my boyfriend like he thought she was just gonna get him. So I am just kind of going over with and thickening a few spots here. But I think she is pretty well primered. I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna set my paintbrush there on that lid, and I'm gonna show you what's so neat about my table. Do I have it all the way up? I think I do. Oh, never mind. I thought I had a little bit more height I could give the table, but I've got it up as high as it goes. We actually did a good job up under there, though. Always want to make sure you get your primer in everywhere. And if you did a heavy coat, just go back over and make sure you don't have any drips or runs, because those are going to mess up the look of your statue. Or whatever art you happen to be doing at the time. So that's what we're doing now, is we're just going over and making sure we don't have any drips or runs, and that everything is evenly coated. I think she's going to be just absolutely gorgeous. What do you guys think? Especially with her little fancy hat on. But I think we're going to let her dry. And once she's safe to move, I'm going to come back with a different project and a very happy announcement. But for now, I'm going to take Loki and his Kong, and we're going to go out into the rest of the house, and I will talk to you guys later.